Welcome inside Gillette Stadium, everybody. My name is Mike Petraglia, joined by Ryan Hannable, Patriots writer for WEEI.com. Ryan, we finish up day number 2 of the NFL draft, but of course day number 1 for the Patriots' participation in the draft, and they address needs on the offensive and defensive sides of the ball. They had 4 picks, and they split them evenly. They start with taking Cyrus Jones, cornerback out of the University of Alabama, the defending national champions, and obviously with the Nick Saban connection with Bill Belichick, it's a pretty natural selection. That, and he is a big corner, 5'10", 210 pounds, played on the outside at Alabama, but definitely can play inside, and he's also a significant factor in the punt return game. He had 4 punt returns for touchdowns. Your thoughts on the Cyrus Jones pick to start things off here on Friday?
I think you sort of hit everything on the nail on the head. You know, he plays for Nick Saban at Alabama, so that checks off one box. He's pretty versatile in the secondary. He's big. That checks off another box. They sort of had a need at the cornerback position, I think, looking towards the future, maybe some uncertainty with some of their guys there moving forward, and then also the kick returning and punt returning ability. I think all those factors factored in, you know, with the number of different things he can do, and it wouldn't be surprising to me to see him be the Patriots punt returner this year to sort of take the load off of Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola.
Nick Caserio, the Patriots Director of Player Personnel, was very gracious with his time after the evening was over, spent about 15 or 20 minutes with the media here in this very room, and I had a chance to ask Nick if whether or not the Patriots were seriously considering a running back, because a lot of the talk up, Ryan, as we know, heading into this draft, was that the Patriots were seriously considering a running back, perhaps Derrick Henry out of Alabama, obviously Cyrus Jones' teammate, or perhaps a Kenneth Dixon type out of Louisiana Tech. And he said, look, we went with the best player that fit all of the spots we were looking for, that was highest on the board, and happened to be Cyrus Jones. We move on to their very next pick, and that was an offensive lineman. It was an interesting pick because this is another guy a little bit along the the mold of a versatile offensive lineman that Dante Scarnecchia back with the Patriots and Bill Belichick like in Joe Thuney out of North Carolina State. But what was interesting is that as Joe Thuney was being interviewed by the Patriots media in the room right behind us, he was informed that his teammate, Jacoby Brissett, was also drafted by the Patriots. It was an interesting 1-2 punch pulled off by New England. Your thoughts on that?
It was a good back-to-back selection. I think that they addressed the offensive line, obviously, but I think he was the ultimate Patriot pick because he can play every single position on the offensive line. I think when Caserio spoke a couple minutes ago, he talked about how Dante Scarnecchia worked him out and even worked him out at center. He was strictly a left tackle last year, but he's played every position on the offensive line, which is obviously great for the Patriots. So I think that's obviously the reason why they took him. They'll sort of see what they have with him here. Right. And taking quarterback, as Chris Price always mentioned, the Patriots always take a quarterback. Right. And so it's really, but to me, the surprising thing was that they took quarterback so high. I kind of thought they'd maybe take a quarterback with one of their 6th or 7th round picks, but I guess, they really like what they see taking quarterback in the 3rd round. And so I think, down the road that sort of lends, the Jimmy Garoppolo decision comes up where maybe they get rid of him for, see what they can get from after, with the trade after this round, after the season in the first 4 games. So I think it was interesting that they took a quarterback so high, but not surprising that they took a quarterback at all.
Right, and because you usually don't see a 3rd rounder chosen as a developmental player really at any position, but the Patriots feel like, as you said, they really like what they saw in Jacoby Brissett. And as far as Joe Thuney is concerned, he did tell us in the conference call that his preference would be to play inside. That's where he feels really the most comfortable, but in a pinch, he could move outside. And certainly last season with the Patriots, we saw that need came up more often than they would certainly like to see. Patriots finished up the 2016 day number 2 draft by addressing, going back to the defensive side of the ball, defensive tackle out of Nebraska, Vincent Valentine. And now what's interesting about this, I thought, Ryan, is that his teammate was picked at the top of the 3rd round by the Dallas Cowboys. So it's a situation where you see 2 defensive linemen on a very good Nebraska defensive front chosen. Your thoughts on Valentine joining this Patriots defensive line and whether or not he, like Malcolm Brown did last year out of Texas, make an impact right away?
See, to me, I thought they were actually going to go higher with the defensive lineman. I thought they would use either 60 or 61 on a defensive lineman. So you sort of knew going in that it was a need going into draft. And I thought maybe they might have addressed it a little more higher. Maybe them taking him as low as they did maybe thinks that they're okay on the defensive line as it stands right now. Maybe they have plans for someone else to come in. And we forget about Terrence Knighton, so they did address it a little bit. So I think they were maybe felt more comfortable than some on the outside thought with the defensive lineman, and that's why they waited till the third round, the end of the third round, to take one. But they needed depth, obviously, at the position, and hope provide some depth.
Chris Price pointed out to us off microphone as we were just chatting up what the possibilities are in day number 3 on Saturday, that they may not take just one but maybe 2 running backs. Your thoughts that the Patriots may address that running back need a couple of times on Saturday?
Yeah, it's definitely a need, and I think with the number of picks that they have, they can afford to take some changes on a couple of guys. So maybe it is worth taking 2 running backs and seeing maybe one pans out and one doesn't. So with the number of picks they have some flexibility, whether it's trading off or taking changes on a couple of guys. So I think with the number of picks, certainly helps them tomorrow.
Be sure to follow along day number 3 of the NFL Draft down here at Gillette Stadium. Ryan Hannable and Chris Price will be on site. Follow their work on the It Is What It Is blog on weei.com. They do fabulous work. And I can definitely.
As do U-Tracks.
Thank you very much, Ryan. You didn't have to do that, but you are very kind. It's been a long day, but it's been a long day for everybody, right? Anyway, it will be an interesting day number 3 to see how the Patriots, with their roster currently at 80, it'd be, if they make all 8 picks on Saturday, their roster would be at 88, just 2 below the NFL maximum. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. For Ryan Hannable, I'm Mike Petraglia inside Gillette Stadium, weei.com.